my years of being around it, I guess it can read pretty long because of all my years being around.
Wait, I need to stop that short. Thom and I have known each other so long that Rock 107 was FM 107 when we first met. That's 40 years ago when we played softball together.
Yeah. And it's funny, I first tried my career in acting in Summer Stock Theater in the Poconos, doing a summer of acting up there, 1968. I started as an apprentice and wound up as an actor, an official actor technician by the end of the year, by the end of the summer. But my net pay turned out to be a little over $7 a week. But might be best to find another field, and moved into radio. And I never achieved one of my goals back in that time in working in radio and starting in Pittston. I graduated from an academy, broadcasting academy in Manhattan, and graduated valedictorian. And I tell all my friends the other kids just didn't do quite as well as me. But one of my goals was to work with Phil here at WARM. And I never made it over to the mighty 590. But my time at 107, we put Rock 107 on the air and moved into more public service areas. It was a good career. But Phil, I'm sorry I never got to work with you. I've been lucky. A lot of the places that I've worked, including my 15 years at Fox 56 and 10 years at WNEP, they not only encouraged their employees, but mandated, particularly at WNEP, that you be involved in public service in some somewhat major capacity. And that was nice to have that. Since the 60s, I've been a volunteer. And believe it, I come from a family of 13 kids. My dad died in 1969 of leukemia. There were 11 of us at home at the time. My brother had just joined the Navy. My sister had just got married. And I think back to those times, and it helped to formulate for me an appreciation and need for helping others. And I mean, I think back to my mom, and you can imagine all of us being a single mom with 11 kids. I don't know how she did it. I think 11 of me, I definitely wouldn't have made it through that, but it helped me, and I've been happy to be able to spend a lot of my time in community service and public service with Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority, which Bob was instrumental in forming. They besides the trails, which we worked on very, very hard. I got involved around 2004 and stayed in there for about 15 years and worked really hard on the trails. And the trails are such an asset to our area. I'm old enough to where when I was a kid, if my parents found out that I was down the Lackawanna River, which you could almost walk on at the time, it was horrible. Down near where Chomko and the Eucalyptus thing is now, there was a meat plant there. There was a pipe, had to be 36-inch pipe with just the blood gushing directly into the river from that meat plant. And if your parents found out that you walked into or fell into the river, you had to go to Scranton State Hospital for a tetanus shot. And we look at it now and what the work of so many community members, going back with Bob, you can go down to the Lackawanna River at the Elm Street entrance to the trail, which goes down in Taylor. It's one of the most beautiful parts of the trail. And there was a dump that was a dump all through that area. And now you go down and you see vehicles from New Jersey, and Kurt can attest to this, SUVs from New Jersey, plates with fly fishing tackle inside. And they're all fly fishing in the Lackawanna River. You throw a dime into the Lackawanna River now, and you can read the coin. It's gorgeous what people have done. And I'm proud to be able to be a part of it, just a tiny, tiny, tiny part of that. But it's nice to be able to get in when I started working for the state. I retired from WNEP in 2011, November of 2011, just to do public service work. I was seeing a lot of parents of friends of mine, and then friends of mine in the obits. And before my number was called, I wanted to get more involved and just commit myself to public service work. And I did it for about a year. When Marty Flynn decided to run for state rep and came to me and asked me if I'd be his chief of staff, and I told him absolutely not, and said it maybe a dozen times, and told him I just want to do my public service work and go out with that. And one of his people said that, Thom, if, with all due respect, calling somebody and asking for help with something and saying you're Thom Welby, who's going to call you back? And calling somebody and asking for help with and saying you're Thom Welby, Chief of Staff of State Representative Marty Flynn. And he was right. I saw the light, went for it, and was able to continue working for public service organizations, but then also just help people in need. Anyone here in the room that has had a problem with an agency, whether it be state, city, county, or federal, and what might be a Department of Health with trying to get a prospective employee's medical licensing finalized, and it can take some of the students 2 and 3 months to get it finalized, and they can't get it done. But you call and act on their behalf, and believe me, through the state senator or representative's offices, you can get things done and accelerate things. It's so nice to call people back and say, hey, log in and check it. It's taken care of. And through Marty, he had a philosophy that I continue with and Bridget continues with. You don't ask who they are. You don't ask where they live. You don't ask what party they are. And you don't ask if it's a city, county, state, or federal thing. Just help them. Just help them. And that's been just a real joy. And I've been able to do that with Marty for 9 years, although sometimes I think I should have gotten combat pay with some of the times with him. But it was terrific to be able to get paid to help people like that. I retired after filling in for Marty's seat for a year down in Harrisburg. And then Bridget's chief of staff, Drew Popish, moved to the governor's office, and she came and asked if I would take over her office. And 3 weeks of retirement that time. And I did it. And I had planned on retiring again. This came up, and I saw an opportunity to go in and work on things at a county level, and also use my experience as an employee in the state offices, and also my experience down in Harrisburg for that time, working with people, and also working with then Congressman Cartwright, and also with Senator Casey's office, and getting things done. I think we can do a lot more in the county, utilizing our contacts in Harrisburg and in Washington, and bring more money into our areas. And it's unfortunate that some of the activity that we could have pursued hasn't been pursued because of political reasons, and I think we can change that. There's a lot of things that I would like to do for my 2 years, and part of it is I'm not going to run again. I am doing hopefully 2 years in the office, and that's it. And I don't want to be obligated to making a vote based on trying to get reelected next time out. All of my decisions would be based on doing what I think is right for the people, for the community, and for businesses in our area. I've talked with Bob and his team over the years, going back to my first experiences with Marty back in 2012, in December of 2012, when I joined him. And improving our business community has been not only a goal of the Chamber and all of you as volunteers here at the Chamber, but I think all of us, lay people as well, realize the need for us to grow our community and improve our businesses. It's another way that we can increase revenue instead of increasing taxes, improving and increasing businesses in our region. I looked down at Lehigh Valley 20 years ago, and they did not have a great deal of activity down there. Now, I mean, they can't fit another industrial warehouse, another plant down there. I look at what Rob Miracle has done just down below us in Pittston in attracting businesses into our area. And then I look at some of our areas here in Scranton, up in Scott Technology, which you've been very successful with, and up in Carbondale, but particularly along the Casey Highway. We have just huge opportunities to grow our community and to grow business. With that, grow revenue without increasing our taxes. There's a lot that we can do. I think that we can do more than what we are doing right now. I'll ramble for another.
We were going to ask some questions, but you can just keep talking.
Yeah.
So thank you, Thom, and I think everybody respects your experience and your commitment to this community. We have a number of different questions, different topics. For the sake of the audience, we provided the candidates with the topics in advance, but not the questions. So let me just jump right in. As you talk about economic development, and obviously that's the critical aspect of the Chamber and perspective and of where we stand. One of the issues that we've experienced over the last number of years is that in, let's say, attempts to attract business and to work with existing businesses to help them grow, probably the biggest issue right now is workforce. We often say it used to be that we'd have a prospect and the issue was, do you have incentives? Do you have the land? Give us, a variety, a long list of different things they'd want. And way down the list would be workforce. Well, now it's number one. It's workforce. So the question to you is, as a county commissioner, among the charges that you would have would be the Workforce Development Board, the county Workforce Development Board. How do you see opportunities for the county to take the lead and or to work into partnerships with the chamber and others to promote and enhance workforce development and job opportunities here in the Valley?
Well, it's something that perhaps we needed to address 20 years ago greater than we did. But what's going on now is terrific. The chamber, we spoke of one of the areas where the chamber is working on future workforce development. And it's true. We have to have the talent for a company to be able to move in here. Now, things have changed also with they don't necessarily have to be resident talent. Our workforce has changed greatly in the last, since COVID. And people are willing to move to other areas where opportunities exist. So we do have that going for us, which didn't exist 20 years ago to the level that it exists now. But the chamber, I'm sure you're all aware, is working on increasing the education level to the level that we need for future activity, for future business, knowing what businesses that we want to attract, and then what talent that they need in order to bring them here. The chamber is going out to not just the high schools, which is important, but the junior high schools, reaching out to them and exposing them to all of these areas where they should consider education and to growing their knowledge base and perhaps consider going into those areas. We need to continue that, but we also, when I was down in Harrisburg for my little over a year, one of the things that I worked on very hard with and was somewhat successful with was increasing opportunities for apprenticeships and paid apprenticeships in our trades. It's our trades. We have to expand the talent in our trades and let kids realize coming out of high school that there's more than just college, that we have huge opportunities in the trades. When I was on the board at Lackawanna College, we instituted the gas program and we got kids into the gas programs through Williams or through some of the drillers. And we had a program where they had internships at these facilities. And when they were away for the internships in the middle of their first and second year, they didn't come back because they were earning over $100,000 a year in their time off from semester. They changed the rules and worked things out where they had to stay. But there are opportunities in trades where there are just some real financial opportunities. A kid 20 years old making $100,000 is a pretty good thing in Lackawanna County. But it's not just the trades that we have to expand. We have to grow, and it takes time. Grow the education through all of our schools and our career technology schools to be able to educate those kids and do it now, and do more reaching out as you are now to lay the groundwork for the future for these opportunities.
Continuing with the workforce theme, Thom, among the other issues that has emerged, particularly in the last number of years, is access to affordable childcare. To what degree do you imagine or see that the county could play a role in helping to promote and advance opportunities for additional childcare and the affordable component of childcare?
Well, with the county has some control with SLHDA. Well, it's not SLHDA right now, but with daycare, which provides for obviously a huge need to provide more daycare opportunities. We have to be able to make those daycare opportunities affordable. Bless you. We all, I think, know people that have opportunities to work, but the justification, the time spent working, the money that they're going to make working versus the costs of them for the daycare, it isn't justified to be able to take that job. It's a difficult situation, and we need more help from the state and from the federal government for this. It's not something that the county can take on, and we can do some things to help, but we have to lobby our federal and state legislators and our agencies to be able to provide for more affordable child care for all of our people, to be able to allow them the opportunity to get the job that's out there, and hopefully help some employers with that as well.
So let me build on that. You talk about the prospect and opportunity to work in partnership with other levels of government. It's oftentimes when we see county government, there's so many things to be done on a daily basis. It hasn't always been sort of a advanced element, a lobbying, as you said, or education, legislative education. Is that something you think that your experience would provide an opportunity for you as a county commissioner to advance those kinds of partnerships with other?
Absolutely. That's I think one of the greater points that I think that I bring to the table. I've always, perhaps it goes back to my time in sales and in commercial sales at KRZ, first at 107, then KRZ and Fox and WADP. If you spend all of that time in commercial sales and you're successful at it, and I certainly was more successful at that in making money than in any government job, that's for sure. But it gives you an ability to talk with people, negotiate with people, to listen to people, listen to their needs, and also to compromise, to be able to work with them. And all of my time, starting with Marty, and actually before that, with volunteering that I've done, I've been able to work with and establish solid, good relationships with our elected people. And down in Harrisburg, the 13 years now that I've worked in Harrisburg, I have fabulous relationships with leadership and with a lot of the state agencies. And we're lucky too. We already have built in Mike Carroll as the head of the Department of Transportation, Jason Kavulich as the head of the Department of Aging, and our director of Pennsylvania State Police as our state police commissioner. And there are a lot of relationships that I have with people that should grow. I want to go knocking on doors and not be shy about it. It's something that I can do, and I want to use it one way or the other.
Yeah. I don't think you're shy, Tom.
Well, but there's a lot that we're not doing that we should be doing. And we shouldn't be shy. We have. I almost don't want to bring it up, but it's a reality. We have a political situation now where we lost the power of Matt Cartwright, and he was really moving up in the Appropriations Committee, and unfortunately we lost that, and there's no getting away from that. We lost that. We lost Senator Casey, but we have now our new senator, but we also have Congressman Bresnahan in our office. I've reached out to him. I'm not shy that he's Republican and we're a Democratic office. We have people call that need even some silly things like they need a passport. And you know how long it takes to get a passport. They'll need a passport. No exaggeration. They say, I'm leaving Monday, and this is on Friday afternoon. And we call, and we've had success working with Congressman Bresnahan's office. And in that case, they had their passport. They had to go down to Washington and get it there. We usually wind up sending it to Washington, Buffalo, or Philadelphia for it. But we got it. And we have a good relationship with Congressman Bresnahan. And I feel like I'm talking with a group of friends, and I hope you take it that way, that I say some things that I wouldn't say publicly. Congressman Bresnahan, his seat is needed by the Republican Party next year. He has to win as far as they're concerned. And for him to win, they, I think, are going to make him look really, really good. They have to. He already is doing well in Luzerne County. He's doing well in the part of Monroe County that he has. They need to make him look good in Lackawanna County. He needs that. And I love whomever is going to run against him on the Democratic Party. But while he is the one at the table, there are huge opportunities to go to him and go to him with any projects that we need seed money for, that we need shovel-ready money for, to go to him, knock on his door, and get that money while they're handing it out, because they are going to be trying to make him look good in this next year. And I would not be shy about taking that money off the table if it's sitting there. I took money off the table when I was in sales. And I think we have an opportunity, as much as I dislike and almost despise the thought of doing that. It's there, and it can help us, particularly in the business arena. It can help us with I think, getting some seed money and money to help some of our businesses positively influenced and enriched.
Great. Let me jump into some more clear county issues. Reassessment. Obviously, we're in the final stages of reassessment. Question to you is, how would you as commissioner work to in the transition from the completion of the reassessment into implementation?
And that's tough. And a lot of people have I have strong positions regarding the reassessment and the way some of the properties in our region have been assessed versus the way some haven't. And I feel really strongly about that. And if we can, I don't think anyone has specifically reached out with examples to the people, the three parties and the law firm that brought this case against Lackawanna County. And it's disgusting that we went over 50 years without a reassessment because we didn't have the courage of the county commissioners previously to do anything about it. And they didn't do anything about it because they knew if they did do a reassessment, they wouldn't be reelected. And they were just, as far as I'm concerned, it's horrible what went on. And this was by court order, not by the choice of the current commissioners. And it happened. I've seen a lot of assessments that were done that are totally out of order, totally out of line with what it should be. A barn that a popular farmer up in Clark Summit has, and he said it was a cow farm in the pastures. There's no such thing up there anymore. They assessed it at almost $1 million. It's ridiculous. But my next door neighbor is a 94-year-old Korean War veteran, and his went from $16,000 to $206,000. He has no idea. People were not educated, not helped whatsoever in understanding what this reassessment means and how to go about doing something about it should they choose to reassess or appeal it. And it's unfortunate that our county didn't help these people in any way whatsoever, in my opinion. Not at all. Didn't help them to understand the reassessment. They said, well, just go out and get some comparables. Do you think the people up the street, down the street that work at whatever factory, whatever business knows what a comparable is, let alone how to get it? It's been so wrong. It upsets me that we have so many people that have been taken advantage of by not being educated on how to do it. And I think that we should pause it if we can do it without penalty. I've said in the debate and I've said publicly, but people don't seem to hear that part of it. If it comes down to the part of where we will be challenged, we will be held in contempt, and we will be fined or suffer any kind of damages in any way, I would absolutely pull back from that. We can't allow ourselves to put the county in that kind of a situation. But I would spend the first 6 months of my time in office helping people to understand how to appeal it, to educate them on what it means, and by then they know what their taxes is, because now they have no idea what their tax is going to be. I think if we were to pause it, if it was to be allowed by court, the revenue that we have from 2025 stays the same in 2026. There's no loss or gain in it, and I think we can do that. But clearly, if we can't do it, the next 6 months should be spent helping people to understand it and helping people to appeal it if they so choose.
Yeah, the county has control of substantial infrastructure throughout Lackawanna County. Roads and bridges, the airport, Colts, transportation, along with childcare, is one of the most important challenges in terms of getting people to work and opportunities for people to interconnect and businesses to use the roadways and for their businesses. County has a major role in this thing. What are your thoughts on how the county can work in what ways to enhance our infrastructure, including, if you don't mind, touching on the prospect of Amtrak connection to New York?
Well, the Amtrak connection to New York and spent a lot of years with the Visitors Bureau and talk with Kurt about this. We're incredibly excited about this coming to fruition, and hopefully it's going to happen. I'm old enough. When I went to school in New York, I took the train, which was fabulous. But as far as our infrastructure goes, it's incredibly difficult for the county with what they're responsible for in that way. And one of the biggest headaches, one of the biggest costs, and it's going to be a future cost, is our bridges. I mean, the bridges, and some of them are small bridges and dams that the cost on them to fix them up and restore them is incredible. And I think we can get a lot more money from particularly federal government regarding that. And also, we have to improve the roads in our industrial parks as well. We have to, and that's a responsibility that we have as well. And I think that we can reach out and get some grant money for that as well. It's something that's not going to go away, and we can't just give up our roads and bridges. The state and the city have obviously clearly the same problem. I'm not going to malign anyone, but we have some real issues with our roads in the city, and it's something that hopefully we can get some grant money for that too, but particularly for our bridges and industrial parks.
I mentioned the airport. A proposal that's being advanced right now is to, and we are involved in this as a chamber, to put together a fund that can be used by the airport to help promote, to maintain existing lines, and hopefully draw additional airlines into the airport. Any thoughts on where you would land with the county if you're county commissioner and supporting investing county dollars in the airport?
I love how our airport has grown. I love some of the advantages of our airport, but we do need to get more, a few more airlines into our area, the low cost airlines in particular, and it's tough competing against Lehigh Valley, but what a great advantage we have with when you fly in and out of Avoca. You go to most any other airport, and it's crazy. I mean, when I come back from flying wherever, if a flight from Philadelphia up to here isn't canceled, when I come back here and get off the plane and go and get within probably from the plane landing in 20 or 25 minutes, I'm home. It's just awesome. It's incredible. We have to push that a little bit more too, I think, reminding people of the value of avoiding going to Philadelphia, Newark, or wherever it might be, and the time spent there, how early you have to get, how long it takes to get back, and promote that a little bit more. But we really do have to work on getting more of the lower cost airlines into our area. It's tough. I mean, it would be nice if we could extend the runway in any of the directions, but that's not going to happen.
No.
But we have opportunities to take advantage of the assets that our airport has, and the ease of getting in and out of here versus the headaches of going out of town. I think we need to share that a little bit more too.
So in the few minutes we have left, we want to give you a chance for some closing remarks. If I might ask, touching on the nature of the county relationship with the chamber. We've talked about this before. Right now, our team would tell you we've had a fantastic relationship with Lackawanna County over the years, and probably never stronger than it is right now. Your thoughts on, whatever closing remarks you want to make, if you want to touch on the nature of the relationship between the chamber and the county.
Well, that's good, and obviously that's the way it should be. I think the relationship with any government entity, with the chamber, should be sterling. I have enjoyed my relationship with the chamber going back to prior to working with Marty. I've served on some committees here and enjoyed it. But yeah, the chamber is the force that's going to drive our growth with business, and driving our growth with business. We're driving more opportunities for families, for everything. I mean, the chamber is the heartbeat of business, and Scranton is, as Scranton goes, so does the Pocono Northeast.
Talk about that. Talk about that potential relationship between the county and the city.
Well, I like to think that that it is a synergy that will all work together. It hasn't been that way in different administrations, but that's just crazy. I mean, we're one team. Even I lived down in Wilkes-Barre from 80 to 89, and different entities would think that we're competitive. You bring somebody in from Chicago, from Nashville, from anywhere. Do you think they think Wilkes-Barre and Scranton are two different destinations or two different? We do have to work together, just as the city and the county is a microcosm of working together. To not be in working together all the time in unison is just nuts, really.
Well, thank you very much, Thom Welby. We really appreciate you giving us your time, and frankly, we want to applaud you for putting yourself out front in running for office, running for the county commissioner position. I want to thank you again, please.
Thank you.